Hello, I'm Todd Phillips, the editor of Canadian Auto Dealer. We're here today with Emiliano Voigt, National Operations Manager for Cox Automotive Canada, and Christina Morris, the Manager of Product Training for Subaru Canada. Guys, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Todd.
Thanks for having us.
Well, you're actually not here in your role, in your capacity with your own organizations. You're here as founding members of Accelerate Auto. It's a new not-for-profit that just launched today. So, Emiliano, why don't we start with you? You're the chair of Accelerate Auto. Tell us about the organization and what it's all about.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Todd. Accelerate Auto is a non-for-profit. It's really established by Black professionals and allies across all sectors of automotive that are seeking to increase Black representation, career advancement opportunities, as well as community engagement. Ultimately, we aim to amplify the voices of Black people in automotive.
Oh, great. And Christina, as a founding member, tell us a bit about the organization's direction in terms of the focus, the primary focus on Black professionals in auto.
Yeah, so the focus for us is career advancement and making opportunities aware to students or people who are considering moving into the automotive sector. For us, it's just very important to build that awareness and to support mentoring, networking, anything that we can offer professionals who are currently in the industry as well, as far as support for their long-term career plans within the industry. So it's not just about focusing on the people who are currently working in the industry, but it's also building awareness for those who are considering getting into the industry about the opportunities that are there.
And the focus early on, maybe describe that decision tree early on to focus on, if you will, the B in BIPOC and not a broader diversity movement. Why was that important for the group, and what were those discussions like? What was sort of the rationale for that approach?
Yeah, absolutely, Todd. For us, it was really important for us to focus on the Black community. Those are our lived experiences that we can speak to intelligently. We work in automotive day in and day out. That does not mean that we do not support the advancement of other people of color within the industry. But for us, in order to have a significant impact in what we do, having a laser focus on the Black experience is important. I can't, as a Black person, presume to speak to the experience of Indigenous people or the South Asian community, and out of respect that I wouldn't. But we want to be almost a beacon for them. If what we do for the Black community can open doors and additional opportunities for other people of colors, then it's a benefit for everyone.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. And Emiliano, Accelerate Auto launches today, Tuesday, February 16th, but it's not exactly the industry's best kept secret. The group has been reaching out to stakeholders throughout the industry. Tell us a bit about what's been going on behind the scenes, including a presentation last week before the Global Automakers of Canada.
Yeah, so it was really important for us to work this problem from within the industry. It's really hard for you to come in from an outside perspective and really try to drive an impact on an industry that's so tight knit. So a lot of the work that we were doing, even in the inception of Accelerate Auto, was reaching out to Black professionals in all capacity across really the automotive industry. And we currently, as it sits, are the most comprehensive representation of the Black experience across auto altogether. So it was great to be able to tie in different parts of the industry to make sure, again, that we have as holistic of an approach as possible. So we have representation from the manufacturer side, from the vendor side, suppliers, dealerships, really a broad stroke of professionals that have come together to really bring and contribute their unique perspective on their unique vertical of the automotive industry. So it was important for us to trickle the word out a bit before we went live, again, just to make sure that we had as much of a holistic approach as possible. And again, you know, working with organizations like the GAC that we sat in front of yesterday, they are critical components of the automotive, you know, DNA altogether, if you will. So making sure that we work with partners, with allies, with like-minded individuals from within the industry really gives us the best opportunity at actual solutions, sustainable solutions, and more importantly, you know, scalable solutions.
And in terms of those interactions, how has the support been so far? I mean, you mentioned you've reached out to a variety of groups and sort of introduced the organization's aims and objectives. What's the reception been like so far?
It's really interesting, Todd, because there are so many good people that work within this industry, and there's just like good people all around. And really, I think everybody is looking, and especially currently with the current social climate, everybody's really looking for the right way to approach the subject. And I think people are tentative to really take action because they're not sure of the right way to go about it. So when we come through and we really present these full scale, initiatives, ideas, strategies that we think are going to systematically change the direction and the narrative that we've been exposed to throughout our careers, the response has been overwhelming, right? Everybody's like, yep, this makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's about time it's been addressed. And yeah, we'd love to help. So I think across the board, and we can't kid ourselves either, right? There's not any one solution or initiative that's going to make sense and work for everyone. But certainly from the conversations that we've been having, the support has been pretty much resounding across the industry as a whole. And it's been really encouraging.
And Christina, to you now, I know that there's been some movement already, even though the organization really just launched today, but there's already meetings booked, and different members of Accelerate Auto are going to be meeting with different schools and others to try to tell them about the industry. Tell us a bit about sort of the partnerships and, if you will, the speaking opportunities to start spreading the message they're already underway, really, frankly.
Yeah, absolutely, Todd. One of the things that I think we already mentioned was that a key area of focus is building awareness, and that starts in the school. So we've been working with different schools in Brampton in order to talk to students and let them know that there are opportunities in the automotive industry, that it's a great industry to be part of, that there's a variety of roles and areas to work in. And also that it's just a great industry for longevity and for career building. We also have opportunities where we're not just speaking to students, but also speaking to their parents and explaining to them that all of the opportunities that are there as well, so that they have an understanding and can support their kids as they move into post-secondary education. It's important for us to make sure that the students have a clear understanding of what is available, what next steps they need to take when they're planning their career or planning post-secondary education, what courses they need to take. We want to be able to be the resource that provides them with that direction and gives them those insights. And then along their career path, we want to be able to support them as they move through, whether that's mentoring or providing networking opportunities. Those are significant initiatives for us as well. Another area that we also want to focus on is working with not just the high schools but also universities and colleges. We have the Automotive Business School in Canada, so we've had conversations with them about initiatives that we can put forward that would be beneficial to Black students in building awareness about the industry.
And Emiliano, maybe over to you now. In terms of the opportunities in the industry, everyone who's on this call and all the members have done well within the industry. It's filled with tons of opportunity. Maybe speak to that, taking that message to other communities, to the Black communities in Canada, to say this is a great place to start your career in terms of the upside of the industry. Tell us a bit about that message and why that's important to spread.
Yeah. So as much as we're about, shedding light on the Black experience in automotive, really educating the industry as a whole on anti-Black and systemic racism, ultimately we are all, and you've, touched on it, Todd, and so did Christina, we are all career professionals that have greatly benefited from the automotive industry. So really proactively also shining a mirror back into our own communities, really letting them know how viable of a career path, and especially, I think for young people in particular, it's quite lucrative on this side of the fence. So it's really, I think it's our opportunity to champion Black experience to the automotive piece, but also champion the automotive experience into the Black community as well. So it's absolutely a focus area for us, and it's something that we're going to be working hard on.
Okay, and over to you, Christina. One of the challenges of, Emiliano mentions systemic racism or anti-Black racism in the workplaces. It exists, it's undeniable, but sometimes they're difficult conversations for people to have within their own workplaces to talk about race, and people don't know, what's appropriate, what are the boundaries. I mean, tell us a bit as a Black professional working in auto, what is a comfortable conversation? How to approach some of these topics? Because again, if the conversations never happen, the progress isn't going to happen. So tell us about, your own thought on that, the difficulty of navigating some of these topics.
I absolutely think it's significant and really important that we have these conversations in the workplace in spite of people feeling uncomfortable. I think the only way to get past the discomfort is to confront the issue head on, have the open dialogue, come from a place of grace and understanding, be willing to listen and understand different perspective and points of views on questions of race or concerns around issues of race, ignoring it isn't the solution. We have years of that, behind us as a testament to where we are today. But if we start having the conversations, if we move forward with willingness and understanding, I think that we will definitely get past the discomfort, and we'll also be able to present viable solutions to some of the issues that are confronting the Black community.
And one follow-up question, Christina, we didn't really speak to the other members, the founding members of Accelerate Auto. I know, been meeting for several months and you've got to know different people from different walks of life. Tell us a bit about the other members of Accelerate Auto and sort of their own drive for making this change in automotive.
Yeah, I think the best thing about Accelerate Auto, from my perspective, is the broad reach or broad representation that we have in the industry. We've got members that come from manufacturing, members that come from the after sales area of the business. We have representatives like myself from the OEM side of the business. We also have associations and dealership representation. So it's not just one voice that we're listening to in order to drive the change. What we're doing is really taking a broad assessment of the different areas of the industry and seeing what we can do to effectively make positive changes in those areas as well.
Okay. And Emiliano, over to you in terms of some of the next steps now that Accelerate Auto is launched. I know there's the LinkedIn site launches today. The website, accelerateauto.ca, is active today. What are you hoping for in the coming weeks in terms of, say, building that community to a broader base beyond the founding members, and then even, the plans for sort of the first few months of the organization?
Yeah, that's a great question. Before I tackle that, I just have to throw in, we also have representation from aftermarket. Aftermarket often gets left out, but they're certainly at the table as well. And it's great because as we continue to kind of round out our perspective, we continue to turn over these new stones where there's new associations, new opportunities for partnership and allyship. Again, that only further kind of broadens our horizons and really our perspective holistically. So to your question, some of the stuff that we're looking to do actively is to just build, and Christina alluded to it earlier, just build a broader sense of community for Black representation in the automotive space. And that includes proactively broadening our horizons, adding strategic partnerships where we have potential blind spots currently, because this industry is enormous. So we hope to continue to really grow our ranks with the right partnerships, with the right allyships that allow us, again, to have the most broad perspective on the Black experience across automotive. But some of the stuff that we're doing today with the launch of everything with the LinkedIn page, that's the active growing the community piece, but also like having the conversation in a public forum. Christina alluded to it, awareness is a huge focus area for the work that we're doing. It's really hard to have to build out real solutions for a problem that you're not educated about. And it's really hard to be educated a problem that you have no awareness around. So really having the conversation in a public setting in an open forum really allows us to kind of open people's eyes, I think, a bit more to not only the issue, but also potential solutions on how we can really move ourselves forward as an industry. But some things that allies and partners could do that are completely cost-free is just do a bit of introspection, right? Take a look at your career page, at your staff pages. Are they reflective of, the not only the customer base that you serve, but also from a bit of a Black lens? Is that welcoming and inviting to that community to make them feel like they're a part or there's space for them within your own organizations? Things like public support and endorsement of Accelerate Auto go a long way. Again, it gives us a bit of a broader platform to stand for, really magnifies our message. Financially, there are great things that people can do, like support a scholarship for a Black student. We're doing a ton of that work in that regard to the ADSC. We're looking at exploring other options with other higher educational structures or universities or colleges, really one of the most critical components that somebody could do if they really want to help out Accelerate Auto is to join us in a consultation phase where we will be providing concept notes on the initiatives that we are looking to run across the industry as a whole. And we're looking actively for like-minded allies, individuals, partners to come to the table and help us battle test these initiatives to really ensure that the solutions that we are rolling out and the work that we're doing make sense from an organizational perspective, also that they are sustainable and really that they are scalable across the industry as a whole. So there's a few different ways to support Accelerate Auto. One of the most critical components would be joining us in that consultation phase that really kicks off in March.
Well, I can tell you that from our readership with Canadian Auto Dealer, the organization. You're featured on the cover of, of this issue of Canadian Auto Dealer that's going to bail across the country. Christina, you were interviewed in there as well. You can certainly count on our support in amplifying this message, which is an important one. And then the people we talk with, it's an overdue conversation that really needs to happen in the industry. And I've seen and detected a great willingness for people to pick up this conversation and start to look at things differently. So it's just the start today, but a very strong start out of the gate. And I want to thank both of you for joining us here today to explain it.
Thank you, Todd. It's really
Thanks for having
encouraging to
us.
hear that.
All right, Emiliano, last word to you.
Yeah, I think really with the current social climate that is happening, with current global conscience, and really the focus and emphasis that everybody has on the Black experience across really the world, I think it creates a willingness and really fertile ground for a real unique opportunity for us as a collective to come together and really move the needle in the right direction. So I don't think any one of us really knew what this was going to turn into when we started it. We knew that we had to start somewhere, and we had to start something, and action was no longer an option for anybody that's decided to come and be a part of Accelerate Auto. And my message would be, just do something, find the courage, find the bravery to step forward. Don't allow this problem to perpetuate without you being actively involved in the process. Again, I think we have a real unique opportunity to really change things in a sustainable and scalable way. And I would encourage anybody that feels brave enough, bold enough, take a step forward, because you have partners and allies that think the same way, that feel the same way, and we're certainly one of those.
All right, well said. We'll be certainly hearing a lot more from the organization in the weeks and months to come. So thanks again, guys.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.
Signing off.